Alright lads, so Bleach Ssr Resident just officially wrapped up its live stream where they did reveal a lot of exciting news coming away specifically for Chinese New Year. And this includes freebies that we are going to be getting in less than 10 days time, teasers regarding the next playable character, and also some updates regarding the whole IP holder situation that is unfortunately plaguing the game. So first up, let's talk about the good news, and that is the freebies that we are going to be getting on all versions around the 13th of February. And the first reward that we are going to get is going to be giving out on the 13th of February, and it will include a free SSR character of your choice from the standard pool of available SSR units. This includes Sajin, Kaname, Kisuke, Yoruichi, Ikaku, and also Byakuya. This is absolutely crazy to be given already, truth be told. This is stuff that you kind of expect maybe to see during a big celebration like half anniversary, maybe anniversary, but then again, this is a Chinese-based game, so Chinese New Year kind of is a big deal. Now, I'd like to say, regardless of the player you are, whether you have every character in the selection, or if you are missing a character, most of us are going to be able to take advantage of this. Using me as an example, on both of my accounts, I am surprisingly missing Ikaku. So this does give me the perfect opportunity to get the character that I'm missing, or at the same time, I can double down and get a character that I already own. And that's going to be the big question leading up to this release: what character should you be getting? We'll probably make a dedicated video going over that, but to keep it very simple, Kisuke is going to be the no-brainer if for some reason you are missing him. Other than that, the second choice is likely to pick a character you are missing. Again, for me, for example, I might go with Ikaku, just to overall complete the collection, just to say I have him. I'm not really going to use him, given that I do have Gin, but at least on my gallery, having that missing character slot does kind of annoy me. If you are in a situation, however, where you do own all the characters, I would actually say that Sajin is going to be the best character to pick up, assuming you only have each character once. When it comes to the boundary system for all the available SSRs, in my opinion, Sajin does have the most value on that first duplicate. Truth be told, most characters do get some good upgrades. Byakuya, for example, shortens the cooldown of his Bankai, so the rotation is much faster when it comes to holding down his special attack. Kaname, for example, does get more damage through his battlefield skill, but in the case for Sajin as a character, his first boundary does offer 40% crit damage to the character that is shielded by his technique. And remember, with the character's passive effect, he does actually offer crit rate. So through his first boundary, you are getting crit rate and also a crit damage bonus. Right now, the Strike team is by far the weakest team in the game, really only consisting of Yoruichi and also Sajin, and unfortunately from the looks of it, Grimmjow is yet again to be delayed, so we're still waiting for that inevitable limited time full assault strike unit, and we're really not sure when that is next going to be. Doesn't seem to be the next character, so we could be waiting 6+ weeks for that strike full assault unit. So with that, we have to really work with what we have on the Strike team, and that does include Sajin and also Yoruichi. Yoruichi is the character to be next replaced, given that again Grimmjow should eventually release, but it might be some time before Sajin technically gets replaced, and right now a crit rate boost and a crit damage boost is actually very good, and by far, if you are in a situation where you own every character in this selection, definitely go with Sajin if you are missing his first boundary. Even though me, for example, I am missing Ikaku, I'm probably going to still pick up Sajin's duplicate, his first boundary, because he's going to offer more value short term and maybe even long term. Because when Grimmjow eventually does come out, you are going to be using him with Sajin until eventually Sajin gets replaced. So again, that will be given out on the 13th. Really cool situation to be in, I will be honest. And let me know in the comments below what character you're personally aiming for. Now after that, that is not going to be the only freebie we are getting, because on the 16th of February, we are going to get 10 free limited weapon summon tickets. This is going to be really good. It will be available while Kenpachi is still out, so if you're still summoning for Kenpachi, you can potentially pick up his weapon if you get lucky, or you can quickly build up Pity, or at the same time, like I assume most of us will be in this situation, you can now save this for the next available character. Really cool that again, they are limited summon tickets, and then again on the 17th, our final freebie, we are going to get 10 free more summon tickets, this time limited character summon tickets. So once more, feel free to use it on Kenpachi, or you can save it for the next available character, which in this case, we don't really have any visuals of the character, and it's technically not 1000% confirmed, but they do mention on the livestream that it is going to be a tactic backline unit, in that case likely confirming Nereo is next. Like already mentioned, Grimmjow seems to be yet again delayed, so that is going to push forward the next potential character, and Nereo most likely does make sense. As of right now, and again, this isn't 100% confirmed, but it does seem like Nelliel is going to be a slash-type tactic unit, so potentially going to work very well with Kenpachi as a character, as personally, I don't like Byakuya's gameplay, and I'm very excited to see a new limited-time tactic unit that is an Aizen, essentially. I'm really liking Kenpachi, and he also did get buffed. To talk about that later today. So the Slash team can quickly and very easily become the best team depending how Nelliel does play, especially when paired with Ichigo and also Kenpachi, because you should be perfectly fine using Ichigo if you are still lacking Kenpachi. Now for those that missed those data mined videos, Nelliel does seem to have a lot of data in the game already. Specifically, we already have her models, and she is going to be a transforming character. She'll start out at base form and then access her centaur form, in this case her Resurrection. Other than the attacks themselves, what she is going to use, and the fact that she is a transforming character, we don't really know much about Nelliel right now, but likely over the coming weeks we will get more information about that. So if you are a fan of Nelliel, she is likely going to be the next character coming out in less than 3 weeks time, so now is a good time to start saving up, and it's made easier because of the freebies that we are going to get: 10 free limited character tickets and 10 free limited weapon summon tickets. After that, now we have a lot of rapid fire news to try to keep up. For starters, Bankai Ichigo is potentially going to receive a buff, specifically, however, through his core stamp. As of right now, his core stamp isn't really the greatest, and it's only really useful when the character is in his holified form. So the dev team is currently discussing making changes to this, and I would assume it's going to allow him to have some type of buff when he isn't transformed in his base form. Regardless of what changes the team does make, overall Ichigo is still a good character, so any type of buff, especially when he isn't in his holified form, is actually going to be a really good change in my opinion. They did talk about the standard banner. As of right now, every new character releasing is a limited time character, and the big question is, when are these characters ever going to be moved to the standard pool? Because it does happen in games very similar to this, like Wuwa and also Genshin, but it takes a very long time. Right now the game's still early, so it's not expected any limited character will ever become a standard unit, but the dev team do say that the standard banner right now has no plans to be updated. But they do plan on giving more standard summon tickets, which I think is going to be a good change, because in general you would like to get most of these characters and also duped out, and after you finish your 300 free summons, getting standard summon tickets are kind of hard to come by. We're going to be getting more battle pass levels. Overall, more rewards in my opinion, hopefully some good items. Even level up items and gold are going to be useful in my opinion, as I do find myself needing a lot of resources in this game. New skins are currently being developed. There's still a plethora of skins that we're still waiting for that have been data mined, specifically like Rukia and Renji's, for example. Again, the skin system has a lot of really cool possibilities, so I really do hope they get around to doing some cool looking skins that maybe potentially add to the character's visuals, besides just changing the character model. More guild content is on its way. Specifically, they plan to add a new guild game modes. Alongside that, we're also going to get plenty of other game modes. One was stated to be a roguelike game mode, maybe very similar to what we do see in Unknown Adventure. There's potentially a new PvE arena game mode, which is a race type of event where you might go against other players. And there are also more plans for co-op content that isn't the current co-op campaign game mode that we do currently have. Unfortunately though, and going into our final topic, a lot of this stuff is just waiting for approval by Shueisha themselves. So right now, any big issue this game currently has access to is strictly due to Shueisha. The game has been doing a lot of great things in my opinion. We've yet to have any big controversy, and the biggest drama we had since the game's release was pretty much Kenpachi's release, and they've already since buffed him. The game honestly has been doing everything right, but unfortunately there is a big plague to this game, and it is the IP holder themselves, Shueisha. They have to approve every little thing, and that has caused a lot of delays in terms of content and also character releases. Like mentioned multiple times in this video, Grimmjow is nowhere to be seen, and he was supposed to be the character that released this week. But instead, because he had to get reworked because Shueisha for some reason isn't happy with how Grimmjow was potentially presented, they then had to release Kenpachi instead, and likely again, the next character, Nelliel, is going to release before Grimmjow, even though he was supposed to release this week. We spoke about it in the past, but that's also a reason why we are missing cutscenes in this game. Right now, Shueisha is the biggest problem for this game, holding back plenty of things that are stopping this game from being easily one of the best anime gacha games out right now. Unfortunately, this problem hasn't been solved, and it's probably not going to be a quick solution. Hopefully, long-term, the dev team and Shueisha can learn to be a bit more cooperative. Specifically, Shueisha, obviously. We don't know the full details, but we know enough that right now, Shueisha is currently the problem. One can assume many reasons why. Seoul Resonance being a Chinese dev team, Shueisha being a Japanese company. I'm not going to speculate too much, but yeah. Shueisha right now is unfortunately being the biggest pain for Seoul Resonance, and ultimately could be its biggest downfall. Hopefully not, though. But either way, regardless of the Shueisha stuff going on, there's a lot of cool and exciting things coming our way, a lot of freebies, a lot of upcoming content, exciting new character releases. Let me know what you're most excited for in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.